that's endangering the welfare of a child, and you see that, and you don't report it, you're just as guilty as the person who does it. So what did the feds know? Because the feds not coming there unless somebody made some allegations against Puff.
A video of Sean Diddy Combs introducing his adopted daughter, Ava Barron, has surfaced. Just a day after 2 of his homes were searched in connection with a sex trafficking investigation. The footage, taken from a 2020 TikTok video, shows the Bad Boy Records CEO asking Barron to introduce herself to his Instagram followers during a live session.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Barron.
Ava Baroni Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents but you're my child also. But please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
That's like a little bit like borderline suspect. I don't want nobody. We want to get it clear. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron, everybody that's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out. So, just clarify it because it's crazy out here online. So I played with the kids. And I got permission from your mother to say all of that. It's crazy out here.
I met Jesse and Lila when I was 6 months old.
6 months.
And then basically all 4 of us. And then I always come over.
Yeah. And it's Ava Barron Combs. Come on.
The billionaire hip-hop mogul then claimed to have adopted the white child, sparking controversy. Many are now drawing comparisons to how Usher was allegedly groomed.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
Nah, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was,
So nobody
it was
tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige. They didn't know nothing about this.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem.
Yeah.
I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
See?
Sadly, Usher still appears to be protecting Diddy, according to Gan Deal, possibly as a trauma response.
Looking at this lawsuit, right, Lil Rod, he alleges that, Diddy told him personally that he had sex with Usher. And when you look at the lawsuit, even though they got Usher's name redacted, you could tell who it is because they describe him as the guy that performed at the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, I mean, we all know who that is, but how you feel about that, man?
Well, I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp. Y'all put it together.
And what you mean by Diddy camp?
Remember? He was on one of the talk shows. The white guy with the curly hair, what's his name? The white guy with the curly hair. And he said, yo, would you send your son to Diddy camp? And Usher said, no. Ask him why he won't send him to Diddy camp. But yet and still you praise him.
Damn, man, and you said that, I know you can't go into detail, but you said that it was a situation where Diddy sent him to the hospital?
Let Usher explain that to you. Let Usher mama explain that to you. And the hospital was in Scarsdale, New York.
The worst part is that Usher wasn't the only major celebrity Diddy allegedly groomed as a child. Many have pointed to old footage of Diddy with various young stars as further proof of his troubling behavior.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
It's 555.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down there, you gotta, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet. 16.
Slow down. Let's slow down, Jess.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah. And then when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay.
Yeah.
The mansion.
Yeah.
So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go.
Yo, Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher,
Happy Son next year.
Welcome to the family, John.
In addition, Gandil recently spoke out about how Diddy was previously investigated for his relationships with underage boys, adding to the growing concerns surrounding him.
You made a comment, right, saying that you knew someone that went through Jimmy Hinchman proffer agreement for a drug case. And the proffer agreement revealed that Jimmy Hinchman, he could have walked away if he would have given up Diddy. What you mean by that?
Well, what happened was that they had 9 different sessions with Jimmy Hinchman regarding his proffer agreement. So that means the feds went in there 9 different times to talk to him. And in those sessions, they asked him, what do you know about Sean Puffy Combs or Sean Diddy Combs? I don't think it was Puffy at that time. It wasn't Diddy at the time. But what do you know about Sean John Puffy Combs having sex with underage boys? And you got to realize, and people never think about this, that Jimmy and his brother, I think they had the same charges. But his brother walked away from that, and Jimmy gets life without the possibility of parole, I think. Which is crazy for any drug charge. Nobody should spend their life in jail for drug charges and just drug charges. But I think they try to tie him to some murders or something like that. I don't know that to be for sure. But he shouldn't spend his life in jail for no drug charges. Not at all. So, but they was gonna let him walk if he had any information regarding Puff having sex with underage boys. That the feds asked him in 2011. In 2011, brother. So what did the feds know? Because the feds not coming there unless somebody made a report or somebody made some allegations against Puff in 2011 to ask a friend of his, Jimmy Hinchman, what do you know about that? But for them to ask him about that, it had to be more than a rumor. Somebody made a complaint somewhere, and the feds got hold to that complaint. Now they're going to investigate that complaint when they get people under the barrel, like they had Jimmy Hinchman. That's why they asked him.
If he did know information, right, why do you think he didn't tell?
Then they would ask, how do you know? And then it comes into play, whereas that if you know of anybody that's endangering the welfare of a child, and you see that, and you don't report it, you're just as guilty as the person who does it.
In December, Diddy issued a statement to People, adamantly rejecting the allegations made against him up to that point. The initial case against him was filed in November. Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation, and tarnish my legacy, Diddy wrote. Thickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. According to Nima Rahmani, a California-based attorney and former federal prosecutor, the sex trafficking charges could be the most serious Diddy faces, particularly if he is charged under federal law. Rahmani explains, noting that the maximum sentence is life in prison. The complaint accusing Diddy of sex trafficking was filed by his ex-girlfriend, singer Cassandra Ventura, also known as Cassie. She claimed that Diddy trapped her by forcing her to engage in sexual acts with sex workers while he filmed the encounters, reportedly referring to them as freak-offs. The two reached a settlement the next day. Following the settlement, Diddy's attorney, Ben Brafman, told People that the agreement was in no way an admission of wrongdoing. However, Cassie's complaint alleged that Diddy would physically abuse her during these so-called freak-offs, and that between the beatings, his immense power, and his volatile temper, she felt unable to refuse him. She claimed he would give her gifts before or during the encounters, something her complaint describes as a form of compensation for her compliance. Rahmani, who has prosecuted human trafficking cases in the past, believes that if violence was used to coerce Cassie into performing sexual acts, it could legally qualify as sex trafficking. If you're looking at Cassie's allegations that she was raped, forced to take drugs, and coerced into having sex with male prostitutes while Diddy recorded it, that's how you get to the force element required for a sex trafficking charge, he explains. While on December 6, a woman identified as Jane Doe filed a lawsuit accusing Diddy, former Bad Boy Entertainment president Harve Pierre, and a third unnamed defendant of trafficking her. She alleged that when she was 17, they flew her from Michigan to Diddy's studio in New York City, where she was brutally gang-raped. Rahmani believes that if Doe's allegations are true, they may fall under the Victims of Trafficking and Violence Protection Act, which applies to cases involving victims under the age of 18. In February, Diddy and 5 other associates were named as defendants in a lawsuit filed by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who accused the Bad Boy founder of sex trafficking and other serious offenses, including sexual assault. While no criminal indictments have been issued yet, Rahmani suggests that charges could be imminent, especially considering the recent federal raids on Diddy's homes. They wouldn't execute search warrants on his properties in LA and Miami unless they were very close to arresting him, he speculates. Amid these allegations, Diddy has responded on Instagram. On Tuesday, May 14, the 54-year-old music mogul shared a cryptic post stating, "I'm tells the truth." He captioned it simply, "Love." His post came just days after he filed a motion on May 10 to dismiss Jane Doe's lawsuit with prejudice. Doe had accused Diddy, Harve Pierre, and a third unidentified person of sex trafficking and gang raping her when she was 17. Diddy has denied all allegations, and his attorneys argue that the statute of limitations has expired, rendering the claims legally irrelevant. They also claim the accusations have caused incalculable damage to Diddy's reputation and business standing. In response, Doe's attorney released a statement calling the motion a desperate attempt by Combs to avoid accountability for Ms. Doe's allegations of gang rape and sexual assault. They added, "It won't work." What do you think? Let us know in the comments.